Hello, my friends. Thoughts on thoughts. How about that for, is today Monday? What's today? Anybody else like lost in time and space? Here, let me give you a little quick tour of where, how do I turn the camera around? Where I am. So I have this beautiful, just like, these are canyons. So if you're on the West Coast, you know what I'm talking about. If you're on the East Coast, it's really cool. Lots of canyons, lots of, you get to run and look for scat. Do you know what scat is? Poop. But that's not the thought for today. The thought for today is how much I love this run program and how much I have completely screwed up my right knee. So I'm gonna give some coaching on mindset. And boy, do I see all the wrinkles. Isn't that fun? Good lighting, right? So if you've ever been in a coaching program with me before, you know the thought model. So the thought model, and if you have a pen, you might want to write this down. It's the letters CTFAR. C is a circumstance, it's neutral. It's just a statement, right? That we would all agree on. It's not something that's in dispute. It's something we would all agree on. For example, this is a flower, or maybe a weed. We might not agree on that, but you know what I'm saying. T is a one sentence thought about that circumstance. F is a one word feeling, an emotion about that thought. A is an action that comes from that feeling, and R is the result. So the way the thought model works, almost always, that result proves the thought true. The reason thought modeling is so important is once you start to take hold of your thought, and for those of us who are believers, we can take those thoughts captive and submit them under the Lord, right? He helps us shape them into positive thoughts that are empowering, help us to go a different way, right? But when we can reshape those thoughts, we can produce a different result. If you don't like the result that you're producing in your life, and I don't care if it's how much money you make or how good of a cook you are in the kitchen, whatever it is, your marriage, that thought line is so critically important in determining the results. So I'm going to share with you about my knee, a little story about my knee. I always say that I don't like to run. I only like to run if I'm chased, and I haven't been chased by anything in a while, so that's good. But I've run from time to time. Before I had Britt, who's my 14-year-old, I did a half marathon down in Jamaica. I think I told you guys that. Trained it in stroke, and it was great. Good training. Dina knows my story with my back. I had scoliosis when I was a kid, so I have an entire metal rod fused to my spine. So I have back issues. I have lower back issues, in particular, the part that's not fused. It takes all the additional pressure and weight. So anything that's jarring is a no-no. So my orthopedics always have told me, do not run. Under no circumstances should you run. Should you do any pounding movements, burpees, all those kind of things are off the list. Well, I'm a little bit rebellious, I'll admit that. And so I've done things from time to time that kind of push the envelope. So I did a 5K training program. It was a 10-week program, so it was a much longer progression. Last month, about a month and a half ago. And I was doing some other stuff after that. And I was excited about 30-day breakaway. I wanted to get back in it, right? So apprehensive, like didn't know what it would hold, but very excited about the process and doing it with all of y'all because that's the fun part, right? Like doing things in groups. So last week, awesome, right? Out of the gate, going, man, doing those intervals. I mean, I was like in my neighborhood on the trails, doing the intervals like a boss. I thought if anybody's looking out the window, they thought they knew who they were dealing with, right? Super fun. My knee didn't hurt the first day. It really did not feel good after the second day, but not instantly, not during the run. It was kind of like later that night, it was starting to feel stiff. Well, the next morning I woke up and it was like super stiff. So I've iced it some. I took a couple days off. I didn't do anything. I did some of the stretching, some lifting, but not no more running stuff this weekend. So today I was like, okay, I'm going to do the lifting part. Well, even in the lifting part, when I did that today, which was super fun. And my gosh, Adalis, like that girl can squat low. What's happening? Anyway, but I was doing my best with that, but it was really starting to bother me then. So I thought, okay, I'm going to go for a walk run, right? Like we're just gonna Galloway this. We're gonna walk and then we're gonna run a little bit, walk a little bit, run a little bit. It's hurting. And so I don't know what that means. I think I'm going to stop by the run store later and see if they have maybe one of those bands that puts the pressure on. So you can, I don't know if it's inflammation. I don't think I've torn anything. I don't think it's that kind of injury. I'm just not sure. I did something years ago during a kind of Tabata Tai Chi thing where I rolled my knee, and it's the same knee. So I think it's gonna be problematic. How does this have to do with mindset coaching? So circumstance, my knee is jacked. Okay. We could all agree on that. Something's wrong with my knee. My first thought was, I'm never going to be able to do this program. I'm never going to finish this program. I'm never going to be a runner, right? We're supposed to focus on one sentence. So I'm going to say, I'm never going to be a runner. And the feeling that comes from that is disappointment. I could say sadness. I could say actually a little bit of anger. My life has had lots of repetitive injuries over the years. Just when I get started, motivated to do something, I feel like I get injured. So from that, the action is, screw it. I'm not even going to go out today. I'm not even going to do anything today. And the result would be me sitting on the couch, feeling sorry for myself, proving that thought line true. That thought line of, I'm never going to be a runner, right? But instead of that, because I've been working on thought training for 2 years now, that thought did creep into my mind. I was like, yeah, today we're not going to choose that thought. We're not going to have that thought. So the circumstance is still the same. My knee is jacked, right? But my thought is, I'm going to do the best I can and see where that goes, right? I'm still an athlete. That's the thought. No matter if you're crawling, running, skydive, whatever it is, I'm still an athlete. So that's my thought. And my feeling from that thought was energetic, right? Let's see how it goes. Adventuresome. Let's do this. My action was to go out. My action was to do a walk run and to go on the trails and to stretch out on the hills and to take time to stop, take time to pray, take time to be grateful and speak out loud my gratitude, right? So that was my action. And my result is, guess what? I'm an athlete, by golly. I'm an athlete that doesn't look like the prescribed athlete of the program right now. And I cannot wait until I can crush the run like all of you are doing today. But I'm an athlete. So that was that chance to take hold of that thought, to reshape it, to make it into something that empowers me, right? If the thought does not help you out, we got to change it. So I'd encourage you, no matter where you are on this program, work on those thoughts. Take this CTFAR, work it out, right? That's what this is about. And I love, that's the beauty of exercise. That's the beauty of fitness. Even with nutrition, being disciplined gives you being disciplined in those areas carries over into other areas of your life. So don't underestimate the power of that. And if you're somebody who in the past, your temptation was to start and stop, start and stop, start and stop, you're somebody who's a great candidate to work on that mindset. There's a reason that's holding you back. That's not from God, right? You've got more in you. So, thoughts from the canyon, Mindset Monday. Hope y'all are doing well. Go crush that run.